All right. The Convoy for Freedom, Truckers for Freedom, Convoy to Ottawa 2022, whatever you want it to be called, whatever it's called. Uh, at this point, I have no idea because there's like 3 hashtags, 4 hashtags, and then there's like this Facebook group and some other stuff. But regardless, Freedom Convoy 2022 is what's on the GoFundMe made by Tamara Litch, who has raised $1.6 million. And I was just going through the Facebook page, and Dreamland was like, "Hey man, you should check this out." And I was like, "Dude, that's a coincidence. I was literally just looking." So let's jump into it. What is the Convoy? The Convoy is truckers who were coming from the US trying to get into Canada, but they're required by mandate to get vaccinated. If you're not vaccinated, you get fired. I think there was 18,000 truckers or something that was laid off or fired or something along those lines. I saw them talking about it in the group, but of course I've lost it because there's a billion posts a second in this group, considering it's got 48,000 members. And when I first started looking at this group, it had 44,000 members. So it's gone up 4,000 members in the last hour or 2 hours, which is absolutely insane. This is one of the biggest protests I've probably ever seen. And a lot of people are constantly complaining in this group that there's no media coverage. People aren't covering it. Some people in the group are talking about it. People on TikTok are talking about it and posting in the group. And people on Rumble are talking about it, but there's no major outlets talking about it other than some people talking about traffic issues because big trucks are going to be pulling through and, blocking things, right? And that's part of the protest, I guess. So this money allegedly is going to be used to house the truckers, to feed the truckers, to keep the trucks running, for maintenance, for hotels, etc., etc. Apparently, there's bookkeepers keeping the money to go where it's supposed to go, and if there's any leftover funds by the end of this protest, then that will go to veterans allegedly. So I would like for somebody to eventually update on that because I'd actually like to know if money actually goes where it's supposed to or not. But will we ever know? Who knows? I will definitely try and keep you guys updated if I find out as well. My opinion on this is it's insane that there's this many Canadians that are able to get up behind this sort of movement. It's the biggest protest I've probably ever seen in my life. I'm not that old, but still, I've seen lots of protests, all kinds of stuff, pipelines, water, etc., trees, etc., this kind of stuff, etc., right? We've seen our anti-mask rallies. We've seen our anti-vax rallies as well. Do I think this is a different situation? To an extent, yes, but to an extent, no. I think it's very similar. And my opinion on it is I think this is a good thing, right? I think Canadians finally standing up for themselves is definitely long overdue, especially being under liberal reign for what, 4, 6 years, 7 years now, whatever it's been. I'm not even sure. Um, do I think it's important? Absolutely. Do I think the government should be forcing vaccines? Absolutely not. Am I vaccinated? Absolutely. I chose to get vaccinated for myself, and it was absolutely a selfish reason for me. I don't care about you in that regard. I got vaccinated, so I'm protected, so I don't get as sick because I don't want, the super side effects from COVID. So that's why I got vaccinated, right? Do I think people should be forced? Absolutely not by the government. It's pretty ridiculous. Why for the last 2 years has it been fine for truckers, but now all of a sudden it's an issue, right? That's my main thing. If the information that was provided of the vaccines was, continuous and in whole, the whole truth from the beginning, then absolutely I would say people should get vaccinated for their own benefits, right? But things keep changing. When I got vaccinated, it was like a 97 or 95% chance that I will be protected from COVID. So I was like, yeah, hell yeah, I'm going to get it. Why wouldn't I get it? And then later on, they're like, actually, now you need boosters. So I was like, you know what, screw that. I'm not going to go get my boosters. I was told that it's good. So I'm either good or I'm not. At this point, I don't care. I'm not getting my boosters, right? There's no sense if they told us the truth right from the beginning, right? People should have been told the straight facts right from the beginning and it would have been fine. Do I think people should be wearing their masks? Absolutely. The mask is not for you, it's for me, right? If I wear my mask, it's to protect you, and you should wear your mask to protect me. And I think that goes for every sickness and not just, COVID. I think that should go for the flu. If you feel like crap, man, if you feel like sick and you're coughing and sneezing all over stuff, just put on a mask, right? It's not that difficult, in my opinion. I think if you're going to the grocery store, right, people are absolutely disgusting and diabolical, and they'll sneeze out into the open. Achoo! Spit and boogers everywhere. Why are you doing that? That's disgusting. And that's even before COVID. People are gross, man. People are disgusting. You guys are pigs, okay? Side topic, whatever. But this is probably one of the greatest displays of Canadians being patriotic I've probably ever seen. But I think there's a downside to it, and I don't think this is going to do anything. Like I said before, we've seen anti-mask, anti-vax rallies, and they do nothing. We've seen protests for clean water that does nothing. We've seen protests for anti-logging. We've seen protests for all kinds of other stuff as well in the past, oil and gas and, food and etc. People blocking roads, all kinds of stuff. And guess what? Nothing changes because nobody actually cares. Once these people are, sick and tired of being in Ottawa, they're going to go home and nothing's going to change unless it gets absolutely extremely violent, which is a possibility, right? Who knows? You get a bunch of people who are fed up and tired, and yeah, I mean, there's a possibility for violence. Do I think that is the only way that things are going to change? Absolutely. If these protests don't get violent, they're going to sit. Trudeau's going to ignore them. Parliament's going to ignore them. The people are going to ignore them, and then they're going to move on. That's it. So that's basically the whole thing, right? If it gets violent, I will definitely make another video updating you guys. If I hear that the money was ripped off and scammed, then I'll definitely update you guys. If it just disbands and nothing changes, then I'm not gonna update you guys. We'll go back to my my other content, whatever, right? But yeah, unless it gets extremely violent, I don't think this is gonna change anything, even with all of this support.